Let's see. Pop it. There you go. There you go. Hold up. Let's get my camera started in just a minute. Let's make sure we check in the chat. How everyone's doing, how everyone's doing. We're gonna do a lot of things today. All right, a lot of interesting. We're gonna talk about a lot of things today. What's up? Someone's in the Yo, when does it start? It starts right now, my boy. It starts right now. Here, let me just put my camera set up right here. Yeah, so let me just make sure the camera's actually working. There you go. Why is it not showing the image? Oh, because my camera has to be all the way. There you go. What's up, Dougie the Gray guys? What's up? How you guys been? How you guys doing? You guys hear me perfectly fine? All right, yo. So basically, what we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about the good things and bad things about Poppy Playtime. However, if you want to join the Discord already, then yo, join up right now. We have a Discord server right here. I'm gonna post the link. All right, I'm gonna post the link right now. If you want to join our public, we have a public Discord server for this one. So if you guys want to join, I'm gonna copy link address. I think that's the right way. You can check in my bio too, but that's not what I hear we're talking about. All right. We're gonna get things started. Before we get anything started, I want to see what everyone thinks about chapter. It actually won't let me put the link. Let me actually do it from Jake the Bear. Hold up. What do you how yo guys? What do you guys rate? Anybody in the chat? What do you guys rate? Poppy Playtime Chapter 5. Let's start with that. You gonna join up? All right. I gotta put the link though, cause uh, so you guys could join up. All right, put the link. Copy link. There you go. I gotta put in the chat. So if you guys want to join, yeah, we're gonna get some people up here as well. I have my takes too, as well, just in case if there was nobody here. I do have a lot of takes, but I do want to think. I love 5, probably one of my favorites. One of my favorites. I got some hot takes too, though. But if you guys join the Discord is right in the pin message. You'll see hashtag follow me in Discord. I should probably type it up again. Hold up. You could join up. Feel free to join up. Somebody added me the Flicks. What's up, Flicks? I'll add you back. Yeah, we got a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff right now. So, yo, by the way, what's your overall thoughts? Rated out of 1 to 10. Poppy Playtime Chapter 5. What we're thinking, chat? What we're thinking? Is it 10 the best? Is it, oh, it's okay. You know, I love 5, probably my favorites. Okay, so like scale 1 to 10. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. I think it's the best second chapter. I think, like, I don't think it's better than 3, but we'll get into that in a second. But I think it's really, really good. I have my good sides and downsides. The downsides are going to be interesting, but, a 10? You give it a 10? Okay, good, good, good. All right, we're gonna get started here, and then we'll talk about. We'll get some people up for the debate. We'll do it in a public server. I'll probably just call it, guys. Just add me on Discord. If you join the Discord, just make sure just to add me. All right, it'll be easy because once you join the public server, you'll be able to add me straight away. You go into general and just add me. All right, let's get started with the discussion. I wanted to start off with the big man himself. And before we do that, I have to put the slideshow. I did this perfectly timed, okay? What do we think about the prototype design? Do we like it, chat? Do we like it or no? What do we think? Let me fit it in perfectly. What do you guys think? I honestly like the prototype design. I'm not gonna lie. Can we see it, chat? I want to make sure we see it, everything well. Can we see it? Hold up. I think the prototype design is good. I think that's one of the best things designs. I know a lot of people are probably gonna hate on it. I know some people say it looks goofy, but let's be for real. Honestly, I couldn't see other way. Uh, the prototype looks like Palm Meets. Hey, yo, Smash. Hey, yo, this guy said Smash. You think you're gonna smash the prototype? Yo, you're crazy. Uh, yeah, I'll say one of the good things though. Let me know what you guys think in the chat. I'm gonna read some comments too, but I think the prototype design looks phenomenal. He's a smash. Okay, yeah. Well, yeah, that's a 10. I think perfect design. All right, I think perfect design. Well, I wouldn't say perfect design. I give it 9 out of 10. The only thing I wish they added for the prototype was to at least have some like a little bigger. Like I think the gesture. I don't mind the gesture look. I before I did, but they made the gesture look fine. I just wish he was a little bit like had more extra stuff. But other than that, I think it's a good design, bro. I mean the face decent enough, man. I love the face. I love the body structure and everything. Chum's also. We'll get to Chum, bro. Oh gosh. Oh, we'll get to Chum for a second, bro. Cause holy smack, bro. Holy smack. I don't even. Oh yeah. Honestly, I think the prototype design, I think that's one of the good things. I'm gonna do good things first, what I think about Poppy Playtime, and then you guys want to come up for a debate, we'll do that in just a second. But I'm gonna just say my own reviews and then we'll get into it. We'll do it just passively quick, and then I want to get your guys' thoughts if you want to debate on certain things that maybe like I don't like the prototype design. So let me just look at my paper because I freaking lost my paper. I literally wrote all this stuff down. I was like, yo, we gotta do this. Yeah, so I think the design is pretty good. The face is great. I think that's much more we can say. All right, let's see what the other thing is. Let's go to. All right. Yes. Good chase scenes. I am finally glad they added chase scenes a lot in this game, all right? Because chapter 4 was trash. We actually had better gameplay. So not only is chase scenes, we actually got more gameplay than chapter 4. I got to give them props to this. The Huggy Wuggy was by far the best, okay? And the prototype chase was good. You know, I liked it, the fact that Huggy Wuggy was kind of chasing us down through the whole factory. There was a point where you have to kind of sneak around Huggy Wuggy. I think that was a good mechanic. Best opening chase by far any chapter. Any chapter, the best opening to chapter, I have to say, is the chase scenes. What do you guys agree? I agree with the chase scenes. What's up, Janix? What's up, guys? I'm gonna get you guys in the debate. If you are, please join the public Discord server, or I could just read your thing on the chat. It really doesn't matter. But yeah, I think the chase scenes are amazing. I think. What do you guys think about the gameplay? I think the gameplay is amazing. Pretty. I'll say good. I want to say amazing. I'll say it had good chase scenes here and there. Because I am gonna push back on it in a minute though. With the gameplay, but I think the chase scenes are phenomenal. Oh, I love the chase scenes here. Oh my god, Huggy Wuggy was pretty good, man. Um, I forgot to also mention too. I didn't even put a photo for this, but also the Kissy Missy and Huggy Wuggy part. That was the emotional part. I didn't put a picture up for that, but it was a pretty good showing. All right, Lily Love Braids. I'm smashing Lily Love Braids. I don't care what anyone says. That's a smash. That's a smash. Not only physically, but the entire gameplay of Lily Love Braids. I loved it. I love the environment. I love the gameplay structure. I think it was pretty good gameplay, even though she sounded a bit annoying. I ain't gonna lie to you. And the tea party was a little iffy. I think it was pretty good. It was a new environment, very colorful, very nice to play against. Um, I also think the chasing with her, I think it was pretty smart. Kind of like what we did with PJ Pugapillar, but a slightly different. I think that was very awesome. Oh my goodness. Oh, that was good. I'm smashing, chat. Are we smashing Little Lovebirds? I'm saying that's a smash, bro. I say that's a smash. That's what I'm talking about, dog. I can say that because listen, it's not an orphan, all right. It's an actual good girl named Gracie. I think that was a good one. I'm gonna get into the meat and stuff though, because I'm just showing all the good parts. I'm not. Then the bad parts, I'm really gonna really go into. Like, also, she's also Miss Grace. Exactly. Okay, so Janix has our first, and Janix, I think I'm gonna agree. One thing I'm kind of disappointed in me was some of the animation. Uh, it seemed kind of rushed. Not all of it. Through a lot of animation, very clean and smooth. I see what you mean. I'm gonna get to the bad points. I'm just moving through the quick ones. I like it. By the way, when I get to the bad ones, I don't hate Chapter 5. I just think they did a lot of mistakes too, as well. But let's go to this one. I'm just gonna quickly go through it. Oh, sorry. This was the wrong one, but we'll get to that in a second. Oh my gosh, this one I was not expecting. I'm glad they brought this man back. I'm glad they brought this man back, but we need this guy dearly in chapter 5. I mean, to be fair, it was the end, so I kind of hated that part, but finally, man, because bro, we needed justice for Pianosaurus. Oh, we don't want. Oh, I forgot about Pianosaurus too, bro. I'm glad they had this man back, cause yo, I'm not gonna lie. We needed some of Harley Sawyer in here, bro. I was dying for that man to come back. I am not gonna lie. The fact that I wasn't even thinking he was gonna die. Like was hoping he would come at chapter 5, but I feel like that was more fantasy. But yo, we got him back. So excited for him to have more screen time. Exactly, bro. Oh my goodness. Oh my god, Harley Sawyer. Harley Sawyer. Man, guys, how y'all feel about Harley Sawyer's reaction, man? How y'all felt about it? Were you guys surprised? No problem, Cat Cut. Thank you for joining up in the stream. What do you guys think, man, about the Harley Sawyer? I'll get to you guys. Then we get into some debates here, because trust me, this is the only reason. There's a reason why I'm showing good ones first. All right, let's push back here. I think Giblet was a good character. I know a lot of people kind of hit on them. They didn't understand him, but I liked the character. I think he was pretty decent at what he did. The only thing is his intentions wasn't known, but we'll get to that in a second. There was a Pianosaurus Easter egg in this chapter too. Oh, I didn't know that, Janik. Um, yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting. I think Giblet was fine. And the puzzles. I loved the puzzles in this game. I think the puzzles were amazing. They were actually creative. Unlike chapter 4, where there was barely any puzzles. Barely any puzzles. I think the puzzles was great. I honestly think we had more puzzles, more interesting puzzles, especially with the grab pack hands. The pressurized hand was actually better than I thought. Was better than I thought. Giblet was awesome. I agree. I think Giblet was awesome. People hated on Giblet. Yeah, I wouldn't smash Giblet, but I think he's a pretty good character. Um, yeah, I'm gonna talk about a lot of good stuff here. I'm gonna kind of summarize everything here. Yeah, but the I think the grab packs were pretty cool. Dude, Chum Bucket, best character ever. Oh, I got something on Chum Chonkins, bro. Oh my gosh. I hope you're being sarcastic because trust me, you're not gonna like my take on that. And this is where we're gonna get through. But let's talk about the grab pack hands. The star was pretty great. I love the star mechanic. The yellow hand, I it was pretty good. I wish he got the green hand, but here we go. All right, guys. That's just good parts. I will say more good parts later, but trust me, we're gonna get into meat potatoes. This is where I think we're gonna have a lot of debates on. Number one, and here I gotta really, you guys are probably gonna hate me for this. Not enough lore. Why in the hell do we not have enough lore? I understand there's audio logs here, but hear me out. Each audio log does not really even connect in a sense. They're totally different. Like we literally got Elliot and the prototype one audio log. Plus, there were only 3 VHS tapes. Why do we have 3 VHS tapes, bro? Now, I put my camera over here. No, put my camera over here because this is where I get frustrated now. Now I'm gonna be really pissed. I don't think we got enough lore. We don't. Where's my paper at? Because I'm gonna be saying stuff that I'm gonna be crazy. Here, this is what I wrote. This is what I wrote. I said, first of all, the tapes. There weren't even tapes. There were audio logs. Why are we having audio logs, bro? Why are we having audio logs? I feel like we didn't get much from the audio logs. The only thing I could say was good was Elliot and Oliver. That Oliver was the prototype, which I still don't like, and I'll get into that in a second. But why not enough lore? That I was expecting really good VHS tapes, and the problem with them is that they didn't really answer any questions. Only but Elliot Ludwig part and Miss Gracie part. But to be fair, Miss Gracie wasn't even built up to be a good character, interesting character. We still don't know what happened to Stella Graber. We don't even know what really happened to Leif Pierre and Eddie Ritterman. So I'm kind of disappointed. I'm kind of disappointed on that we didn't get enough lore. And there was only 3 VHS tapes. Now, granted, I understand that VHS tapes are basically audio logs, but I just felt the lore was just lackluster a bit here. It didn't really answer questions. It gave you minimum answers, but we don't even know the motivations of a lot of the characters. I might even get to the player, for example, because that's another thing. For example, why? I don't. I'm like pissed off. What is the point? What is the point? And I'm gonna just go straight up here. I gotta see what's next because I'm gonna get to. I gotta see which one I put. We'll get to the different mechanics in a second. I'm gonna go. Is it the fourth one? No, I think it's the second one. Oh yeah, I don't like this character in a second, but we'll get to him in a second. Is it this one? What's the first one? Oh yeah, that's the first one. Yeah, I did not like that character. Listen, I honestly, I'm gonna put it up here. Why? 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 The reason why I don't like this is because they haven't really built up Ollie. They have not built up Ollie very well, and I'm gonna say this. Well, I'll get to Chum in a minute. Why? People. I know what people are gonna say. Chapter 3, they kind of said that the Elliot had a boy, but they only had Elliot he's as a. I'm thinking that because what connection does Oliver have? Oliver is just a stepbrother to Poppy. They have no connection, and that's my problem. If it was Elliot Ludwig, do you know how good that story would be, bro? If Elliot Ludwig would prototype, it would make sense why he wants to do a Poppy. But now, since Oliver is the Poppy, I can't tell if the guy wants to kill her or he wants to do something with her because clearly he says in one hand he seems like he's jealous of her, but in the second hand he just wants to fix her. Like, are you gonna like? I don't understand the motivations, and I think the motivations a lot of the characters are just not good, especially the player. We don't know who the player is, and I'll get to that in a second. But for Elliot not to be the prototype, I don't have a problem Ollie being the prototype. The problem is, and here's the problem: they never really built the story with Ollie. What connection does Ollie have with Poppy? The only thing we can get from this is that he's jealous of Poppy. But as for the motivations, like, why is he like? I don't understand. They never show any type of hints that Oliver was barely mentioned in anything, barely anything in the lore to build up to even consider Oliver as the prototype. Nowhere. We just found this now on chapter 5, and I just felt that it wasn't a good enough reveal. Everything seemed like it was pointing to Elliot being the prototype. Now all of a sudden Oliver is the prototype. And good point. Ollie is the prototype. Chapter 5, the prototype is Ollie. And see, I know what you're saying, and I saw that quote before. What are we doing? The way prototype was talking to Poppy in chapter 4 sound like a father talking to his daughter. But now you're telling me Ollie's not the Ollie is the prototype, and now the prototype is Ollie. Make up your mind. Why didn't you build this in the beginning? Why are we finding about Oliver now? We were wondering. You kept building up to Elliot, thinking everyone's making theories that Elliot has to be the prototype. Even I thought Elliot was going to be the prototype. And even when the voice when it says Poppy come back at the end of the game, I thought that was it's confirmed Elliot's a prototype. To find out that Oliver is an adopted son for Poppy, basically just a prototype. So how to make Poppy? That's basically what Elliot did. He hired a random orphan, and then this makes Elliot's character even worse, bro. They just screwed Elliot, bro. Because I'll get why the prototype looks like Pommy. I don't know. I don't know why. That's another thing too. But I mean, I don't mind the Jester look. But why? Why not have Elliot as the prototype? Now, just mentioned that they might have planned this. I don't think so. I think they switched it up. It does not make sense. The story. If Elliot was a prototype, the connection with Poppy and Elliot, it's something that it would have broke the internet. But now, and I'm looking through here, and before we get to this character, there's no connections. All Ollie is a prototype of Poppy, but that's it. How am I supposed to be invested? How am I supposed to be invested in a story where Oliver's barely mentioned, but only in chapter 5? I don't get that. I don't get that. There's no connections between them. If you built up that Ollie was something towards Poppy, because even in the VHS tape when Ollie talks to Poppy, it sounds like a father talking to Poppy. It doesn't sound like a jealous stepbrother. Basically, it doesn't sound like that. And that's what frustrates me is that it's not a big deal. I don't mind, but you never built up the hype for it. You're building up hype for Elliot being the prototype, and now we find out Oliver. Where was Oliver mentioned? All it was is we don't know what happened to Elliot. Elliot. The only mention we ever had of Oliver, and we're not even sure is the boy in Elliot's room. That's it, by the way. And the name Ollie, but it's never been explained lore-wise who Oliver is. And now we have Oliver. I think that kind of got me disappointed of the game. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not as invested in the story. Um, and so let's hear what Janik says. Janik says Ollie the prototype was jealous of Poppy because they said that the prototype was too scary and Poppy was successful. So the prototype said, "I can fix you." The prototype was gonna make Poppy. Yeah, but it doesn't make sense though. It doesn't make sense. I get what you're saying, and I understand that. Okay, I get it. Elliot wanted to see how he can make Poppy, right? He's trying to figure out how it works. That's not the problem. The problem is, and this is my opinion, right? I'm not trying to force somebody's opinion, but this is what my opinion is. What's the connection? What is Ollie trying to do? Nobody knows his intentions. What he's trying to do. If it was Elliot, it would be like, oh, he's trying to get his daughter back to the actual human body form. Ollie is just killing people for the sake of killing him, I guess, because he's mad that they chose Pop. That's literally it. And I'm thinking the prototype is semi good. The motherfucker's not even good. He's just killing everyone. I mean, he put Poppy in a case for the sake of just not following orders. Like this guy, who is he trying to kill? And I'll get to the brain rot. Cause brain rot. We coming with the video of brain rot, but I just don't understand. You know what I'm saying? I just don't get it. I don't get the lore. I don't get there's no connection. If they hyped up Oliver and give a little more backstory, and that's the problem too. There's not enough lore. There wasn't building Oliver. They only had one VHS tape between Elliot and Oliver. They didn't have other now if they did other VHS tapes in the chapter 5, consistent building up to okay, Elliot's talking to Oliver as the adopted son. Then he turns into it. Now you're building the hype that oh my gosh, Oliver's a prototype. Now you see the connection, but they only had one VHS tape. I felt it was rushed. It really, I think it killed it for me a little bit, not too much, but yeah, I'm disappointed. All right, let's go. It says Sander, bro, Fatherman Kaka saying that the prototype looks like Palmy, but it's literally just because he doesn't know what a gesture is. Well, Palmy is a gesture too, though. Is a gesture as well. He looks similar, and he has a Choo Choo Charles face though. That's the only difference. You can't blame someone to call him Palmy because a lot of people call him Palmy. It's not just CapCut. A lot of people say, "Hey, what's up, Wither Gamer?" I don't know, guys. What do you think about the lore between? Do you guys like that Ollie's the prototype, or do you guys wish it was Elliot Ludwig? I wish it was Elliot Ludwig. Let me guys know right now. I'm curious what you guys think. I'm really curious, guys. Think. I feel like it would make the story more darker and sad that Elliot is the prototype. I'll get into debates too. If they are wearing the same outfit. Yeah, yeah, Sanders, they're wearing the same outfit. Pommy and them are wearing the same outfits. It's the you can't. It's a reasonable comparison. You wish it was the water bottles, but yeah, it's yeah. I'm not a big fan of it. I'll be honest. We'll go to what you guys want to talk about too, but I just think it was a lackluster of a story. Let's see what someone says. Someone says something. All gestures wear that. Yeah, I'm saying all gestures like Pommy's gesture. Literally, it's all gestures. It's all gestures. I don't blame that. But yeah, I wish Elliot was the prototype. When Sanders is being talked to me, I'm just being chill for now instead of arguing. Okay, no problem. Okay, here's my other problem with the game, and I think I have it here. I don't know if did I have it here. What is this? Uh, slight problem. Who is this guy, bro? Why didn't we get a reveal of the player? Yo, I'm just sick and tired of we're not having lore from this guy. I don't even care what he is anymore. I know a lot of people, oh, because you thought it was PW, you're upset. I can listen. I don't mind it not being PW. Yes, not 1%. But you have to understand, right? Could you even blame me for thinking it was PW? Chapter 3 was probably the most lore we ever got from this character. He was guilty. So I connected to PW because PW felt guilty what he did. So if it's not PW, then who is this character feeling guilty about? The only other thing I could think is Rich, but I have not seen anything. We haven't even saw Rich in chapter 5 and VHS tape wise. I don't know if the notes of this. Why haven't we got the identity of the player? Or at least some lore behind it. We don't even know why he's here. 1 minute he wants to burn the factory. That's like his only motivation. I guess his only motivation is to kill everyone. But I'll get that in the brain rot video. Who's the player? Why didn't we have the player review or at least some type of hint? We got no lore from the player. Besides it not being PW. Who is this guy? Is it Rich or not? Like, I've been waiting for this. Why are we still not having any lore about the player? Because watch it, chapter 6, it's gonna be John Cena as the player, bro. Why? Because there's an invisible barrier. He's invisible. That's better. That's better lore than what they're giving us right now. That this is John Cena. It's about to be a name. It's about to be a different name. And he's still brain rot in this chapter too. It doesn't even make it fat. But I'll get to that in the video. So you gotta wait for that video. But the point is, where's the player? Why are we not having the player review? We need. This is why I'm saying not enough lore. We have nothing with the player. All we know he's an employee, and that's it. He's an employee. He's looking for someone. But yet, chapter 5 breaks the streaky of chapter. What do you mean streaky? Of chapters that Stella and Rich are present. I don't know what you mean. You gotta be more specific, Sanders. I'm so confused. He's probably poor. Does anybody know who the player is to make a living? Like it's like it's explained in chapter 4 that he's looking for someone. Now, if he's PW Junior, the only way I can say it's PW's son or daughter is because of that Cat B fan. If you guys know, I'm not gonna show it. This is an ARG, not in the game. I'm talking about in the game. They didn't do any lore. In the ARG, someone commented that my dad used to work there, so people are assuming that's their dad's PW. We don't know who the player is. In fact, we don't even know who Seeing Reason is. I'm thinking at least connect Seeing Reason to this person, but we don't even know. And that's what frustrates me is that there's not a. I mean, Streak. Streak is A. Rest in peace, my Huggies player's son theory. Yeah, and then what was the point? There was no connection, right? In chapter 3, we had a connection with this guy and Huggy Wuggy, and now there's no connection. What are we doing? What are we doing? I don't understand that. What else did I wrote here? Because I'm not pissed, but I still like the game. Yeah, I already said we already talked about that. Let's go to chapter 2. Chapter 2. Yo, yo. Are we serious? Yo, Mob Entertainment. We can't be. Yo, we can't be serious, bro. We actually can't be serious, bro. And This is gonna be another problem to what I'm gonna explain back. Who the is this, bro? Why does this look like a Garden Bam character? Like, I'll get to the point when I'm trying to make. This person literally tweeted and said this is the best design they ever done. And we never got the reveal until we see this guy. This is Garden Bam, bro. This makes Garden Bam look good though, I gotta admit. Chum Chompkins. Great point that Sanders made. Sanders literally said, I wish I could show it, but it's in the chat. He says, you know how chapter 4 was more focused on lore, chapter 5 was more focused on gameplay, and that's true. Why is chapter 5 not focused on both? And I used to give the excuse and to be like, and with this, why? And here, before I get to Chum Chompkins, because I'm really gonna, I shouldn't even go to Chum Chompkins yet. You're gonna see why I shouldn't go to Chum Chompkins. And it's not this. We'll go to him in a second. And here's my problem. It's in the first one, I think. No, it's not in the first one. Hold up. It's in one of these here. Is it this one? It's got to be the third one. Oh, or is it an image? Nope. This is the problem. The lore and the environment. What's going on? And the reason why you see chapter 3 environment here is I'm comparing it. Look at chapter 5. What's going on? Why is the game not getting darker? Why is that chapter 3 the darkest chapter still? Why is that chapter 5 so focused on gameplay but not the lore? The lore, why did it have to be one or the other? This is why I don't get Mob Entertainment, and I'm going by Sanders' comment because they're so. It's like when they make a game. Okay, fans didn't like the gameplay. Let's do the lore. Let's do more gameplay, no lore. Okay, fans like the gameplay, but they don't like the lore. Let me do more lore. No, it needs to be both. And yes, chapter 3 is not as much lore. And my chat just disconnected here, so I need to know why. In the beginning of chapter 5, it was really dark. Only one section was dark. And okay, I'm good now. I agree that there was a part with the Automos that the environment looked dark. After that, we never saw it again. We never saw the dark environment again, and that's what pisses me off. This game needs to be darker. But then how can it be darker when you have this as your character? How can we take the game serious when you have a character that looks like this? Are you serious? This character, and you want me to think this chapter 5 is scarier with a clean environment and a character like this, and I'm supposed to be scared. And the thing is, I wouldn't hate it all, but the fact that we got nothing with this character, not even a sequence, a chase sequence. What was the point of having him there? What was the point of having Chum Chompkins there if he's not going to be utilized? Literally, the whole chapter was 90% fighting Huggy Wuggy and 10% the prototype. And that 10% is only one chase sequence we ever had with the prototype, by the way. By the way, one chase sequence. Yet we couldn't fit time for this guy. Time for this guy. What are we doing? What are we doing, Mob Entertainment? What are we doing? They should have just replaced Chum with Box. Exactly, bro. You know, I didn't even think about that. Why is Boxy Boo not in the game? Why do we not have Boxy Boo? He already looks scary enough. Is he a little goofy? Yes. But if you think Boxy looks worse than this character, then you need to check your eyes because Boxy Boo looks way better than this character. Matter of fact, Boxy is a pretty good design. But I'm saying if someone thinks he looks goofy, they need to look at this Chum Chompkins character because this is a Garden Bam Bam character. If this was a Garden Bam Bam character, I'll be fine. The fact that this is in Poppy Playtime is an embarrassment. And I'm not trying to hate on nobody, but I'm hating on this character. We can do better character. People made fan drawings better than this character. And I thought the fan drawings was like, man, it looked a little goofy, but I could see it be Poppy Playtime. Y'all didn't even try. This is something my 5-year-old nephew can draw. This is something that you could draw in like 2 seconds. Dude, my dog can draw probably better than this. Or draw this character. It's like someone took a dump and then just mushed it and then just came up with a design and be like, this was it. Chum Chompkins. And are we going to use him as a gameplay character? Heck no. He's just going to be our ally and do absolutely nothing and leave us. Come on. Hey, more screen time than Pianosaurus. Oh my. We don't want to get a Pianosaurus, bro. They just. I didn't even have a picture for Pianosaurus. I agree with this comment. I'm going to show you this comment right here before we get to Pianosaurus. I agree. Wasted potential. You want to know who else was wasted potential? Matter of fact, where's my display capture? We're going to search them up right now. We're going to search. Now we're going to do display capture. Display capture. Take this down. Hold up. Hey. Where's my display capture? Why is it not showing up? Oh, we gotta do it over here. Give me a second. Let's show this. Can I show my camera? Oh! Why it only shows my voice? Oh! Let's just show you guys so you can see what I'm talking about. Pianosaurus. So, what the fudge is this doing? Work! Oh my goodness. Give me a second, chat. This thing wants to be a jerk. Because I'm going to download the image. That's what I'm going to do. Just give me a second. You're telling me, though. Matter of fact, freak it. I'm not even gonna show it yet. Here, I'll show it in a second. But you're telling me, my gosh, that the only thing they could do for Pianosaurus, only thing, not only they screwed him in chapter 4. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you guys. I'm gonna download this image so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Because I think you guys know. I bet someone already said it in the chat. But this pisses me off even more because I forgot about that. You know why I forgot? Because I can care less about Pianosaurus now. Because they clearly don't care about that character, so why would I care? I'm gonna show the image right here. You're gonna see it right up right now. You're gonna be like, yo, father man, what is this, bro? And you're gonna be like, yo, there's no way. But there is a way. 709. Where's the picture at? This is the only picture I'm gonna download, then I'm not downloading anything else. Well, great. It doesn't even show it doesn't even download a picture. Oh, it's right here. This is it, chat. Return. This is what we get. So you said you guys took the criticism very well. Very well. And they say they take criticism and they give you this. We'll have justice for Pianosaurus, so we'll make him into a chair. I have no words for that. I'll talk more than brain rot. Chum Chonkins looks trash. Here. I'm sorry to say, I like chapter 5. I think it's one of the best second chapters. But if you're telling me compared to chapter 3 and chapter 5, I'm sorry. As much as I think chapter 5 is the second best chapter, I do not think it's better than 3. I don't think it's better than 3. 3 had different type of gameplays that missed the light, dog day, and different gameplay mechanics. All we had was chase scenes half the time, and most of the time between was just a bunch of puzzles. I don't mind puzzles, but it wasn't balanced out. All right, guys, let's get into the debate section. Who wants to debate first? I think Sage wants to debate, but let's see if we get somebody new before we get Sage. Does anyone want to debate here? Or else it's just going to be me and Sage. Is it Sanders? Is it Janix? Is it some random person? Let's get into the debate. Do you agree? Do you disagree? You can disagree me. I mean, debate has to be the disagreement, though, to be fair. Does anyone else want to go? If not, I'm about to call up Sage. All right, Sanders. Let's see what you want to debate. Let's go with Sanders first. I'm going to call him a personal call. And then Sanders, before you go, I want you to explain your part, what you disagree me on. I'm gonna push back here. I gotta put it so where they can hear you. All right, chat. Hold up. Okay. All right, hold on 1 second. I gotta put application audio. Hold on, I can't hear you. Can't hear you. Hold up, they can't hear you. So save it for a second. Give me a second. Talk right now.
Okay. Hello.
Okay, and then let me just put the Discord here. Let me just put. It's fine. I'll just put a regular my image here. Hold up, not this image. All right. Now it's time for the beats. There you go. And then let me put my camera on. All right, go ahead. All right, we're talking with Sanders right now. Go ahead, Sanders. What do you have to
So
say?
first of all, you talking about Pianosaurus's cameo. That's not the cameo I was talking about.
Then what cameo you were talking about?
Uh, do you not know the his cameo in Chapter 5,
Is it a chair? Because that's the best thing I could think of.
Father Man?
Hello? Is my mic not working?
Uh,
Hold up. Oh, he can't hear me. That's why. You hear me now? I don't think he can hear me. Hello? I can't even hear him. Chat, can y'all hear me or no? Hello?
okay, sorry, my phone was glitching out. Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Anyways, the cameo I was talking about is a different one than the one you were talking about earlier for Pianosaurus.
Okay, what's the cameo?
Just look it up.
Just send me. I'm not gonna look it up right now. Just send me. It'll be easier. Because the fact that you have to find a cameo for him, I still don't think that explains. That's still wasted potential. What was the point? Even they didn't even do anything with. How is that justice for Pianosaurus? The fact that I have to find him in the game, that doesn't explain that they should have not added him to the game. People literally wanted a chase sequence for Pianosaurus, and they gave you a chair and wherever this cameo is. I need to see this cameo. Let me see. Well, I gotta watch a YouTube video for this.
I sent it to you.
Let me see this. My God, stupid advertisement. This is from my different account. Okay. Cameo. Okay. All right, let me see. I'm looking at it right now, chat. Hold up. Okay. I'm waiting for the thing to see. Hold up. Oh, I'm just gonna skip this. It's taking so long. Oh, there's a Pianosaurus walking. Okay, I see it. Not bad cameo, but still, they should have just done a game. They should have just done a chase sequence for him.
Yeah.
Not a good reason for me to like that. All we had was literally just huggy wuggy most of the time, and only prototype for one chase sequence. Which I think they should have had more with prototype, but they literally had one chase sequence. Um, anything else?
Well, there is. I kind of want to talk about how I'm kind of disappointed in my on how they don't really connect the player and Huggy that much.
Yeah, I thought there were, but clearly there wasn't. Um, yeah, I agree. There's not much to say because there's not even much they even put into that. Um, all right, let me get in a call with Sage here because I know Sage is gonna want to debate a lot. So let's see what he has to say. Um, let me see if Sage wants to debate. Sage, before you talk, I need to make sure the audio is
What is up?
talk again.
What is up?
All right, go ahead. You say you want to debate. So what do you want to debate about?
So so I did like I was kind of right on the graphics end, like it was gonna end to be the chapter two graphics as it was. The whole thing wasn't bad. There was, even though you didn't see it, there was more lore than you think there was. Way more lore.
Lore
There was
what
more
though?
text and audio log.
You talking about the papers, but what type of lore referring to who though?
Even even in the dialogue,
But explain, like what more lore of what?
basically the lore of the game is what I'm trying to say.
Okay, so what about the lore of the game? Like what lore?
Like
Because
how everything went down
there's
and
only
he's
there's
looking at
only
my weekend about
what?
he's trying to bite my feet. That's why I'm rushing through this.
Okay, go ahead. What lore? Because the only lore they only had one lore for the prototype. and a little notes with him, but
Then,
mostly one audio log.
unless I was extremely tired and or drunk while watching Chapter 5's lore.
Huh?
It's basically everywhere, as far as I can tell.
The lore is, yeah, I know the lore is everywhere. That's the problem, and it ends
Like
up
even
nowhere.
like heck, even there were some audio logs that was very dark. Like at the end of one of them, the prototype not torturing Giblet, but also Poppy.
No, yeah, I see. That's what I'm saying. But you're saying there's a bunch of lore. I see what you're saying, but there's not. What we're talking about, I'm talking about the lore is just random. First of all, there's nothing really consistent. If I'm saying because there's only literally one lore we have of the prototype, and I'm talking about lore wise. Yes, I know there's another audio with the prototype. Yeah, he done evil things, but that's okay. He's evil. We get that point. He's clearly unhinged. But there's only one conversation we have with Elliot and prototype for that specific lore. There's no other tapes, as far as I know, with Elliot and Ollie. Am I correct with that?
I mean, yeah.
And then,
So I was just tired and drunk
yeah,
while watching it.
yeah. I don't mind. Like, I get this audio log. They had a lore, but the lore wasn't really satisfied. We still don't know who the player is. Yes, we can cross out names. It's not PW, right? We could cross that name out because clearly, I mean, it wouldn't make sense if it was PW, not at this point, which I think it would have, but they built it up that it's not PW. Okay, so we'll just throw the name out. That's already crossed up. We don't even know who the player is, though.
Yeah,
Who's the
we still
player?
need. I think Chapter 6. I think Chapter 6 will still be able to. Well, I think we'll find out in Chapter 6. Also, there was actually one mechanic that we all forgotten about.
Mm-hmm.
And in the beginning, it was the flashlight mechanic. You could turn the flashlight on and off on the Huggy sequence, and after that, before you lose the grab pack.
Oh, okay.
But in some of the cutscenes, like even the beginning cutscene, was you could even tell it was rushed.
Yeah, I agree. It was rushed. It was rushed. I don't.
Like, bro, and also, were the developers high when they did it? Because not even the red gas looks right.
Yeah, I just like the thing is I do like the game. I'm just pointing bad stuff out, but like there's not enough lore because I was watching. So this is why the reason why I made this video even more is because I was gonna make this video in a like a video format, but the reason why I do a live stream is I was watching Markiplier watch him reaction. Honestly, I kind of agree with some of the things he said. Not everything, but some of the things he said. Like we should know the player's motivation. We should know the motivation of these characters. We don't even know what Ollie's trying to do. This is why I said that I wish Elliot was the prototype because now it has the motivation. What is Ollie trying to do? One thing he's jealous of Poppy. Next thing he wants to hurt her. The next thing he doesn't want to hurt her. So now we don't have no clue what he's trying to do with Poppy. Is he trying to make him like him? I don't even know. And I just feel
And
like
I do
if
actually have one kind of controversial topic
mhm,
is the prototype's design.
go ahead.
Really, like, I actually recently looked at back at Chapter 5 really recently, even though it just came out. I don't think the prototype's design is good at all. It doesn't even fit this. It doesn't even fit the dark aesthetic that they were trying to go for. They basically just said, hey, let's just give him a jester outfit, make him look not creepy, and just call it a day, basically. Well, back in Chapter 2, the prototype started even creepier then, so why is he not so creepy anymore? At this point, he just looks derpy in many ways.
I say I think to be honest, I think they rushed. Honestly, if you guys want me to give the honest opinion, I don't. I think they just came with the design literally after chapter 4. I'm gonna be for real. I don't think they ever had the jester planned because you look at chapter 3 shrine, which I'll put it. That's gonna be explained in Brain Rot chapter 5, and I'll get into that. Why the freak cat made a shrine and they look nothing like the prototype, but that's another story we get into. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I don't think it's a bad design. I just think if they were gonna make him a jester, he needed to be bigger. He's like skinny and then a big ass, literally a big ass. He has. That's literally what it is. He's skinny and he has a big ass. That's and legs. That's all he has. Like that's literally the prototype design. I don't think
Also,
it's
the
a
reason
bad
why,
design though. I think it's a pretty good design. It fits the game. I feel like it's not a bad design. So I disagree in that part, but I could see the creepy part. It's not as creepy as like chapter 3 was made out that this guy was really creepy. I agree with that part. It's hard to disagree because I do agree with that. I just like the design though, but I can see why it's not the best design either. But go ahead.
so the reason why the end cutscene seemed pretty rushed was not that rushed, but it was more like the player and Giblet had to rush to get the backup online before the prototype comes back, because if they don't, they're basically good as dead. And the reason why Harley Sawyer came back was we were basically told that in chapter 4 that he basically like backed his consciousness and his brain up into the servers, but mainly
Right.
the backup.
But
So when
well,
the backup gets booted, they're basically rebooting Harley Sawyer. But
I
there's
don't
one
mind.
stupid theory where they said the prototype actually just took Harley's brain in secret and put it in the backup, which doesn't make sense.
I
It
just
wasn't
think
rushed per se.
I think. Well, I think the ending. Well, Harley Star. I don't mind coming back. I think it was rushed though, where I feel like we should have had more time with the prototype. I feel like it didn't make sense that we only fought the prototype literally one sequence. I
Yeah,
was
because it's
expecting. Go ahead.
so long just for him to only have like a couple of cutscenes, uh, only a couple of cameos in the whole entire series, except from the ARGs where he was actually shown a lot more there, and like one big chase scene, but that's still not good enough.
Yeah, it's not. It's not
Like
good enough.
if they're hyping him up that much, at least go to chapter four's route, where Harley Sawyer is basically everywhere. Just it's essentially just taunting the player.
And the thing is, I feel like, and I know a lot of people won't agree, but I feel like, and the reason why, because now I feel like Mob Entertainment, and you might disagree with me. This might be a big controversial. I think they're changing the story while they're going. I'm just gonna be for real. I think they're changing the story because it doesn't make sense. Nothing's lining up. Besides, yes, you could say the Ollie part chapter 3 made sense, but it just all of a sudden Oliver. What's Oliver's motivation? Just he's jealous of Poppy. Then why wouldn't he just kill her? It doesn't make sense. Why didn't he grab her in chapter 4? And why does Kissy Missy is able to I we apologize for the inconvenience.
I
But
mean, anger can give power to just about anyone,
yeah, but that's
even
not
if it
good
doesn't
enough.
seem like
That's
it
not
should.
good because if Elliot was the prototype, it would be a better emotional connection. They don't have a connection. Oliver and Poppy does not have a connection. They have not built that hype. If Elliot was a prototype, now it makes sense. Okay, he's trying to get to Poppy. Whatever happened to Elliot, they kill Elliot and they wanted to make him to this, right? Whatever the case is. Now Elliot, he's trying to just get Poppy into human body. Now we don't even know the motivation of the prototype. It doesn't make sense. On one hand, he's jealous, but on one hand, he wants to fix her. So like, what's? I don't get the point. And the problem with I have is that they didn't build it up long term. Yes, they gave little subtle hints, very subtle. If that was the case, a lot of people would have more theories, and there was people out there that had theories that Ali was Elliot's son, which was adopted son, really, to be fair. But it wasn't built up for the hype for it. It wasn't built up. A lot of people thought it was either Elliot or Rich, and it was more Elliot because the way Ollie's talking to Poppy sounds like a father talking to his little girl. It does not sound like a stepbrother talking to his little sister. I'm just gonna keep
There's
it a buck
also
with you.
a good reason to why the prototype killed Huggy and Kissy. So basically, let's just put this like quickly. According to the prototype, a basically basically what I'm trying to say is bloodlusted Huggy is a good Huggy, and a docile Huggy is a bad Huggy. In terms of saying it, it was basically implied in every single chapter that the prototype was secretly spying on Huggy as well, and he was basically testing him throughout this like whole thing. And because he was becoming docile due to kissing, he thought that Huggy was useless and killed him. And he was already after Kissy
Man,
because during the hour of the day they were the same way. They were both very full of like bloodlust.
but that's even another thing I question because with the prototype, he clearly with the player, he doesn't seem like he doesn't want the player to be there. If that's the case, why hasn't he killed him long ago? You know what I'm saying? Because I was thinking the reason why Huggy Wuggy didn't attack was because the prototype told him not to attack yet.
Actually, there is actually one thing in the first chapter. Huggy Wuggy just was doing his business, gave us a security measure to make sure that no one trespassed. Well, in chapter 5 and then in chapter 4, it was more like he was coming after the player for revenge for what he did to him, not because of the prototype telling him to.
Oh, I
So,
guess I
first
well,
chapter, it was his job. At the end of fourth and the beginning of fifth, and all the way through fifth chapter, it was just an act of revenge towards
Then
the
I can't
player,
even blame
trying to get.
Prototype for even killing Huggy Wuggy because freaking this guy let the man in. All right, Sanders, I'll see you. But yeah, I don't know, man. I just felt like it's a good chapter, but I felt like they got some things right. I think I'm just gonna go in general here. I know I'm just jumping the subject to subject. I don't mind the product design. I do feel like it's rushed though. To be fair, I don't think they really. I think they did this last minute. To be fair, I think they did good with the puzzles. Not much gameplay. You really think it's not much gameplay? Yes, the Lily Love Braids was a good part. I forgot to mention Lily Love Braids was there too. That was a good part. Um, Huggy Wuggy was good, but that was it. There was Chum Chompkins was wasted again. Well, not wasted again. It was wasted. He looked at wasted anyway, so I didn't really mind it.
Shopkins just sucked to begin with. I don't know what they were thinking. They were supposed to be designed in the first place, even if some parts of it were rushed. It was supposed to always look like that.
The game's environment is not dark enough. It should be darker. And it was at one point. That's why I was excited, and it ended up being more cleaner. And yeah, I know what you said earlier, because we had this discussion that you said, oh, the prototype's maintaining, but it's still not a good excuse, bro, because Chapter 3 was still being used, and Chapter 3 had darker. It should be darker as we go. Chapter 4 had a good environment, just a bad execution in gameplay. That was the only problem. Chapter 5 is not even, it's like clean, bro. It's like it's a new place. I just wish it
Also,
was darker. The laboratory. It needs to be darker. This game. I don't even know if you could call this a horror game anymore. Especially with Chum Chonkins added to it. This is Garden Bam Bam at this point.
there's actually another reason why, or more like a theory that the prototype wanted to kill Huggy
Mm-hmm.
in the first place, because all of his like basically all the records for him were basically saying, "Hey, he's highly intelligent." So it would be more like the prototype trying to take his knowledge and become more intelligent than he already is. But then at the same time, because the player took 3 memories, he's the player's also technically also became a bit intelligent himself, as the memories basically also embedded it into his head.
Say that one more time. What was the point? I'm confused. You kind of confused me there.
Okay,
Because
so
I
it's a
wasn't 100%.
theory, but it doesn't seem bad that the prototype was trying to steal Huggy's knowledge by killing him using his brain. Because Huggy's highly intelligent, right?
Is he
Taking that knowledge
intelligent?
would make the prototype. Yes, he is. Even in the tapes, he was proven to be intelligent.
No, it's more obedience, not intelligence. He was never really intelligent. He's just obedient, but that's about it. I never heard anything that he was intelligent. All that he was obedient, not intelligent.
There was actually a couple records, even in ARGs, that proved that he was intelligent. Just he didn't like. There were some parts where he did act stupid, but other than that, he was pretty intelligent. It was because the player was basically better and faster than him, not in terms of knowledge, but in terms of like body, like how fast he is compared to the player.
Yeah, I don't know about intelligence, man. The intelligence, he seems like he has zero intelligence. He's
And
still.
if all those records are not records are true, that means all the memories that we took that was embedded into the player's brain. Wouldn't that technically mean he's also a bit smarter than he used to be?
Is Huggy was smarter than he used to be?
No, the player. Because it is true in that evil retcon, that wouldn't in those 3 memories, wouldn't that mean that the player's a bit more intelligent than he used to be as well now?
Not intelligent. The memory was just about Huggy Wuggy. What happened to him? That's about it. It has nothing to do with like him being intelligent. It just he knows what happened to Huggy Wuggy. But then it still doesn't make sense because they haven't really connected the player. Because I'm thinking, and I kind of agree with Sanders. Like I thought, like if that was like his son, like if it was Huggy Wuggy's son, which is not. Clearly, they haven't had no connection. So I feel like they missed on the connection. I thought there was a connection between the player and Huggy, and it clearly wasn't. So I don't even know what was the point of even the player knowing about that.
Oh,
You know,
also, props to chapter 5, besides the elevator crashing, because all the other chapters were really kind of, except chapter 3, was falling and crashing simulator, basically.
mm. Yeah, I
Like,
guess so.
they actually focused a lot more on gameplay, because the other, even the first chapter was more like falling and crashing.
Yeah, but now, and I give props, like the gameplay is good, but what they tend to do is they tend to want to focus on one thing each game, and that's what I don't like. Like even with chapter 3, one of my best chapters. I might even go with chapter 3. Here we go with chapter 4. No, barely gameplay, more lore. Chapter 5, more gameplay, now barely in lore. And
Actually, you gotta give them because they were trying to add the same amount of lore as of gameplay.
no, I'm not gonna give them props. There was barely any lore. There was
No,
barely any
no, they were
lore.
trying to. They were
Trying
trying
doesn't
to.
matter. You have 5 chapters. That's 5 years. You're game developers. You should know how to. There's other games that know how to do this both ways. They know how to
But at
game.
the same
That's
time,
no excuse. You
you
can't.
don't want
I could give them
to.
excuses for chapter 4, but you're 5 games in, and that's why I like what Markiplier said. You're 5 games in. You're 5 games in. You should know. There should already be answers. There should be more lore. Why are we still asking even more questions? We don't even know who the player is. To what? To chapter 6? And they're just gonna come up with a name out of that. Probably like Bob the Builder that has not even been teased. They have not teased anything. Oliver still wouldn't even make sense. Yes, we could make the sense with the chapter 3, but that's literally only it. That's the only hint we ever even get. Barely build up. They could have
I
done
mean,
more lore. We don't know what happened to Leif Pierre. Maybe one of the notes says it, but I haven't seen all the notes. So I'm gonna be fair. I'll see most of them, but not all of them. We should have seen more VHS tape. Why are there only 3 VHS tape? That's number one. And I guess I don't mind the audio logs. It doesn't really matter. Almost the same thing anyway. But the point is, I don't know. I did no. They need to do both at the same time. They're trying. I'm tired because this is what I'm hearing, and I'm not mad at you. I'm just making the point, right? We're talking about this is the debate. So then I'm not mad at you. You're gonna have your opinion at the day. I'm gonna have my opinion. But at some point, the developers, we can't make excuses for them anymore. We keep saying, okay, chapter 4 rushed and fine. That's fine. But at some point, they had more time to make this game, and you're telling me I couldn't find no way to put both in the same one. The lore was the problem with the lore is it was scattered. A lot of them wasn't important. Now we found out Miss Gracie out of nowhere is Lily Lovebrace in the same chapter. There was no teases, barely any teases about Gracie. And people thought it was Stella, which would make sense, but unfortunately it doesn't connect. So my problem with chapter 5 is they need to go deeper in the lore. I think chapter 4 had the best VHS tapes of all time. I think the lore was understandable. They answer some of the questions. It goes deeper. But chapter 5 is scattered all over the place. We only literally have one VHS tape with Ellie and the prototype. That's crazy. One audio log? And you're telling me you had no
There,
time?
there is actually one thing I do. One other thing I actually do. Oh my god, that I actually do have to complain about, and it's the fact that even if we get most of the lore, like almost every single bit of it, there's still a big chunk missing in Project Playtime. We should be still getting lore. At least we should have at least had that all finished. But because Mob wasn't stopped updating it, now there's a big gap, a huge gaping hole in the lore, whether people like to admit it or not. We only know the beginning and the end. Like, even if we figure out everything, there's still that gaping hole that still needs to be solved. And
But
I don't think it's ever going to be fixed.
the problem is Mob Entertainment is not putting. They want to do one or the other. They don't. They need to learn how to integrate both. And I have to bring Secret of the Mimic. Secret of the Mimic, I think, was the best way how to integrate lore and gameplay at the same time. I understand Mob Entertainment. Listen, I get it. I can understand the first one, two, even the third game. Okay, fine. The reason why I gave chapter 4 the slack, and I eventually, because Sage made a good point, right? That people rush the community, right? They rush the company. Sorry, that's what I meant. I understand that. So because chapter 3 is kind of hard to top chapter 3 after that. I'm gonna be fair, but this is chapter 5. As much as they did good with the gameplay, I think they still did good. It's still a good chapter. I think it's one of the second best chapters. I still think chapter 3 is the best. But at some point, you had more time to make this game, and you're telling me, and you have 5 years of planning. You're saying that you done this before chapter 1 even started, and now you're telling me there's barely any lore content. Why we have no hint of the player? Not even a subtle name or why he's come back. All we ever got was Poppy talking to him the same way chapter 3.
The Minecraft lab as well as the Fortnite lab, you only got like few small bits of lore, and that was it. Like, they should have at least included more lore in there.
And I don't want to say this, but and I did praise Mob Entertainment. I do think they do listen to the fans, but even with chapter 5, I'm starting to think like, is it just to sell merch? Because even with the prototype design, it just looks like chapter 3 Shrine doesn't compare with chapter. I don't mind the look. I like the look, in my opinion, but it doesn't make sense. So I don't know.
Here's
I
what they
just
should have done with Chapter 4. They should have. They should not. That's like also technically their fault with Chapter 4. because they could have stopped caring a bit more about the fans' wishes and just keep making it like bit by bit to make it better. That's what they should have done. Like chapter 3, they stopped caring about the fans for a bit, and they got way more accomplished.
and and that's the thing, like they need to start because they're switching things left and right, and I just feel like now they I do think that they still care about the fans because the gameplay is pretty good. I'm not saying they don't, but now when the fans, it's like they work on something the fans only want, but they don't integrate both. They're always missing a piece, and that's what they. And the reason why I'm even arguing about this because I want the chapter to get better. I think it's good. This is great, but why are we not darker than chapter 3? Why are we having gameplay? Really, half of it is mostly just puzzles between. But I love the Lily Blood Braids. I love the Huggy Wuggy chase.
They just they just brought back the chapter 2 graphics for Lord knows why.
Buddy, I think it's worse than the chapter 2 graphics. I put that thing in
No,
epic.
I've actually seen both of those, and that's the same exact graphic. I'm not even kidding you.
I don't know, because when I
They
played
just
PlayStation,
reapplied
it
those
looked way
graphics
better
to
than what
your
I was
game.
seeing in chapter 5. Chapter 5 did not. It looked the graphic. Why is but even then, why is the graphics even getting worse or as worse as chapter 2? Why is it not
Here's
better
the
than
thing:
chapter 3? Why is
the
this is what I'm
chapter
saying?
2 graphics on
Go ahead.
PC are the same as the ones in chapter 5. See, every single port has different graphics. The mobile, the worst, but the PC is the second worst. And they basically brought that and put it into the PC version of Chapter 5, which is why it looks way better in PS5 because, well, it surpasses that, basically. It's one of the best graphics on PS5, but on PC, it's one of the worst.
Yeah, PC. I don't understand. Like, eh, they need to like their goal is it should be better than the next and it's a good chapter, but man, it's always like something with this game that is missing. And I think if they would have just added more lore and a little bit different gameplay mechanics, like reality, I'm not too worried about that. I guess it's just, my big problem is not darker. It needs to be darker. Even Prototype, as much as I think it's a kind of a good design, I don't think it's creepy. He looks kind of goofy in a sense. Like I said, like I like his design, but he looks goofy. He looks so goofy. I'm more scared of Catnap than this guy. And you know what made it worse? Is that Kissy Missy literally punched
Because
this
Catnap
man.
was a perfect
What?
because Catnap was a perfect execution. He was the perfect example, the prime example for the main antagonist of the chapter.
Exactly. But with Prototype, the problem with him is that number one, Kissy Missy literally looked like he made the prototype ran away in a sense. Making the prototype run away, that's actually like that lost a little
I
aura, I ain't
mean,
gonna lie, after that. A little
I
bit.
mean, yeah, because she literally tore off a vital piece of the prototype that was holding out crap ton of blood.
Yeah, but if Kissy Missy can do that, then why? First of all, they shouldn't even.
It was
That should not
weak,
even been a cutscene. That should not be a cutscene. That's a terrible cutscene to do. Because you're telling
bro.
me prototype is
When
to be
she did
feared the
that,
most.
because the prototype kept losing blood, the prototype got weaker, which is why she was able to attack him so easily and made him run away. So he could reattach
I
that
think
piece of him
Catnap was
to
more of a
regain his strength.
dangerous opponent than freaking prototype. And the only thing is the prototype has legs, the robotic leg. That's the only thing that differentiates everyone is his legs are really powerful. But even then, I just feel like they need to execute him better. He needed to be. I don't mind the gesture look, but he needs to give more parts, more bigger parts, because he looks skinny and then just a big lower bottom. He needs to have like something more. Like, first of all, how did he burn Kissy Missy? That's what I'm wondering. How did he even burn Kissy Missy's face? There's not. I don't
Red
see any
gas.
mechanic.
Remember, it's highly combustible.
But that's with electric. I didn't see no electric with
He
him.
definitely has his metal. Definitely has the capacity, and the metal in the sense definitely has the capacity to withhold electricity inside of it.
Well, that's not what we saw in it. There is no indication that he even done something like that. We don't even know how that fight went, and I don't even know how this guy still hasn't catch cop. This guy, bro, he just butchers
And
himself. Bro.
I thought the Johan initially was going to be like a green hand, like an over-exaggerated version of the green hand, like a green hand 2.0. But it's actually way better than everyone thinks. It's so diverse. It can hold just about any element you could think of.
Yeah, I like if they added that because if it was just for the green, like just like what the green hand does, I would have got mad. I didn't mind the yellow hand.
Now,
Um,
what I wish we could have, what they could have done instead of bringing back just the regular old grip hand, was keeping the armor hand, but instead recharging it. And I was right that it wasn't like the grab pack, the new grab pack you get is not like a damaged variant of the grab pack 2.0, but it's still a damaged one. So I was still right
nah, it was
somewhat.
a new. Nah, you were wrong with that one. It was a new grab pack. You thought it was the same
Braun
one.
was literally chewing on it.
No, it was a new
I'm
grab pack
saying,
hand.
I'm saying I'm somewhat right that it was a damaged version of a grab pack.
Nah, because you said it was
Not
the
it
same grab pack. You said it was the green. You said it was the same
was
grab
a
pack that we had.
hypothesis. But the
No, no,
keyword
no.
like
That's not what you
damage.
said. No, you said it was a new. You said it was the same grab pack hand. It wasn't the same grab pack hand because if it was the same one, number one, there was a red hand, not an Omni hand. There would have been an Omni hand there, a damaged Omni hand. There would have been the purple hand damage, and it would have been the flare. No, there was none of that. None of that damage there.
Well, here's the thing. There's two part of the spiel. When I meant like damage, yes, that was about that. But now, like really going back to it, that could have like it was still damaged. That part was still right. That it was a damaged version of a grab pack. The part that I emphasized on that with like the other end was really wrong. But I was right. It's still a damaged version of a grab pack.
Yeah, to be fair, I don't think Mob and Tim even finished that grab pack. I think they just threw it up like that. To be fair, um,
Yeah, they just kind of threw it on Braun's
I'm
mouth.
sorry, bro,
They
but
just
Mob
hit and
Entertainment, like,
chew on.
this was still a pretty good success. I still like Chapter 5, but they need to start, like, they need to start getting better because, like, the fact that, I mean, I don't know if everyone agrees because I know some people said Chapter 5 was better than Chapter 3. I don't think so. I think Chapter 3 is still the best. Still considered the best. I don't think they have never topped it. Chapter 3 was smart. Like, don't get me wrong. I wish there were certain things I didn't like about Chapter. Like, I wish Chapter 3 would use the environment of the whole home. What was that called? Play care? Was it play care? The whole play care lobby, which they were planning to do. But like, the thing what I don't like what Mob Entertainment does is that they say that, oh, we didn't get time to finish the time finishes. Y'all developers, y'all team, y'all should been know how to do this now. We're in the fifth chapter. We should already been know how to add these stuff. Y'all should know what people want already. They done well. They done good. It's still, I think, the second best chapter because it's more gameplay. I think it's better than the other ones. Lore wise, I think chapter 4 has the best lore, in my opinion, besides the prototype, because the prototype we know what the prototype is. But I I
Yeah, when
just
I
don't
said
think it should
10,
be
not really.
chapter 5 should be darker. The prototype shrine doesn't make sense now. Prototype should be way more scarier. I still like the design. I'm still okay with it, but could have been way better executed. It felt rushed still. Graphics, how are we still having bad graphics in chapter 5? That we shouldn't have bad
Heck,
graphics.
heck, even the trailer said that hey, it can support up to 4K. And the
4K
only way that
bad.
that would work, like, the only way that would work is literally on 4K mods. Then it would give you basically the same graphics that were in the trailer. So they technically clickbaited everyone.
And then you tell me you add Piano Source as a cameo, but nobody want him as just a cameo. They
Yeah,
want
we want
him as a
full boss fight.
chase.
We want what we didn't get in chapter 4,
Exactly.
but instead we have two cameos. Oh yes, Justice. He makes one cameo where he's walking.
And
The
you
other
know,
cameo, the main one, is where he's where they made him into a chair.
and they
That
say
was
that
that part was messed up.
exactly, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Literally, you're right that the chair had more screen time. They had more screen time technically because they weren't gonna add him into the game. I was surprised. And the thing is, right, is that they say they listen to fans. Well, I think somewhat is true, but you say you listen, but then you add a new character, Chum Chompkins, who you basically teased up, and what you did, you didn't have him in gameplay, and now it's the same thing with Piano Swords. You had no chase scenes. Nobody wants a character that's not going to be really used. Chomkin was just an ally for a little bit, but he wasn't even. He seemed more. Like, I just what game? They always make a character, hype them up, and just to not have barely any gameplay. I don't like that.
You
You
know
need
what's
to
even
learn from me.
crazier?
And why don't we have a Piano Storage chase scene? That's what people wanted. Why are they still trying
Yeah.
to deny that? Go ahead. Go ahead. What are you
And
gonna say?
so, you know what's even crazier? They basically said, hey, teased, hey, the labs is the final, like the furthest the factory goes. What? Excuse me. Then why is there a chapter 6? And the prototype didn't lead back to his lair, but went somehow lower. Are you serious? Like, are you basically hinting that there's even more than meets the eye in the factory, and there might be more than just 6 chapters, and there might be
Yeah,
an even bigger bag?
and this is why I agree with Marker because I was watching him, and Marker probably made a good point. Like, we don't know why are we going to chapter even like I don't mind chapter 6 if Poppy was the villain, but Poppy's not the
Like,
villain. It's still a prototype, so it's kind of so the prototype is still the villain. So, is there a different villain that we don't know? Because that's the only thing I'll be interested. I'm still gonna play chapter 6 regardless, but the point is like they they could have still they could have still added more to chapter 5. We should already know the player by now, or at least more lore about the player. We don't even know who the player is. We know who the prototype is, but I still felt that was lackluster. If they did Elliot, I would have been more happy. Elliot changed the game. Now it's not Elliot. Now they have to build up Oliver more. Now, I don't even know what Oliver's doing. What is the purpose of him? Like, is he then he kills us? I don't even know if it's a hallucination. First of all, I think it might be, or it might not. I'm gonna assume it's a hallucination. But even if it wasn't, what was the point of like? I
oh,
don't
it's
know,
not an
man.
hallucination. The red gel was used to preserve bodies,
So it
so
was
therefore it was more like he was gonna die, and he was gonna pass, like him passing out and then die. And so that's the reason why that Giblet used his electric cane, because he basically used the electricity to also revive the player's brain and bring him back.
exactly, and to
Because at that
point
point
out,
he was dead.
and Janice is gonna add to your point. He says, "Yeah, why is there so much located under the factory? The factory itself is already huge, but why is so much already under it?" That's what
Like,
I'm saying.
heck,
There's no point to add another like
even a Project Playtime said, "Hey, there's like about 100 stories of the factory. Are you saying there's about 1,000 or 200 now? Why are you retconning what you already said? Why are you going back on everything that you basically said?
that's what
Why is the prototype going lower than the labs? What
exactly.
is down there?
And they don't hype that. And I agree with Janix and you. It's just like what? How far does the factor need to go? And why are we still not having good answers? Like, yes, we know who the prototype is, but that doesn't. It wasn't built up to be even him. People thought it was Elliot. Now we don't know who. What's the prototype? People thought the prototype, and I thought too. He was like kind of good. This guy's just killing. He just wants to kill everyone. Like it's not even like it makes no sense. What is he doing? He's no different than the scientist. Clearly, sure. I couldn't even blame people who thought it was Leaf Pierre, even though they had a VHS tape because he's acting like Leaf Pierre. This is what they were doing. How much more do we
Also,
need to go deep in the factory?
when I said that Chapter 5 was a 10 in the chat, it was more like gameplay wise, not really thinking about it.
It's a
And you did actually help me realize it, was that it's about like maybe like a 6 or 5. I think it's actually even worse than Chapter 4. No, not in terms of gameplay, but in terms of
yeah.
everything.
I think
It's like in total, it's worse.
listen, and chapter 4, what chapter 4 did good gameplay. The problem with chapter okay, so let's just recap so I can see what you're agreeing on. You're saying the gameplay chapter
Here's where
5, the gameplay was better. That everyone knows
here's,
that.
here's where this stands.
Go ahead.
And without the gameplay coming in to try to save it, it'd be like a 0.5 or 1, or even like a 2. But with the gameplay, it at least goes up to like a 5 or a 6.
I agree.
But that's still not good enough. It's still worse. But
Yeah,
I'd rather say that Chapter 4 is like I'd rather say than Chapter 4 is actually better than Chapter 5, which is actually crazy to even say.
I don't know about like gameplay wise, but I think you're not saying gameplay wise. I think
I meant
this
the
is
lore saved it.
Yeah,
Like the
lore saved
lore
chapter 4 a lot. Lore,
surpasses,
yeah,
on
I
my
agree.
terms, it surpasses, like in total, it surpasses Chapter 5, even just by a little bit. Which I'm
Yeah,
basically saying, yes, Chapter 4 is better than Chapter 5, which is even crazy to say, as some people think it's actually peak and keep glazing mop.
and you know why I say they got lazy, and I kind of because 3 VHS tapes and the rest is audio logs. That means you don't even care to put the VHS tape out there. You're not even caring that much. You rushing. Why are we rushing? We stop rushing. Like
Heck,
bro, I
I
wanted them to
thought,
take 3 years. 3 years? I don't want to see chapter 6 in 3 years. See, this is why I have to agree with GTA 6. I don't mind get GTA 6 getting delayed if it's gonna be really good when it comes out. It needs to be quality now. Now it has to be
I think
quality.
that
I don't
actually,
want a quantity. I don't want it fast. It needs to be quality. Why? Because I yes, the gameplay was great, but half of that was puzzles between it. Like we need more like, oh, we gotta do a puzzle, but like the Huggy Wuggy part. That was great idea. We're doing a puzzle, but Huggy Wuggy's now around there. Now we gotta be careful of Huggy Wuggy while we do the puzzle. Why didn't we utilize Chum Chawkins? Why didn't Chum
also,
Chawkins? You know what I'm saying? I think
I
I'm repeating the
actually
same
would
points.
have
I'm trying
been.
to not repeat the same
I
points.
think it would have actually been better if instead of the new jetpack, the crappy jetpack that we got, I think it would have been better if we actually got the damage like variant of the jetpack 2.0 because it would actually look better. Like I
Yeah,
feel like if Ron was actually chewing on that instead and got it from Huggy that and we collected it, that would have been even better than what we got in the game.
and then
You know, all we basically got is the standard grab pack without its casing and the basic hands. Like yeah, the right hand or like it just proves that the right hand is basically just the William Aston of the series
yeah,
at this point. As
it's
well as the doctor, there's literally a meme online saying like the doctor, I'm finally back, and then William says,
exactly.
"Hold my beer." Basically,
It's like
he always comes back.
they had good. Uh, listen, the good things I'll give. They had good surprises. They had good moments. But for a game, you have to do more than that. It has to be story plus more story, more gameplay. It has to be balanced out. It wasn't. It's always one or the other. I don't not like there's one or the other. And we need to utilize better gameplay, different mechanics. The reason why Chapter 3 I like was different. It's not because yes, puzzles were very important. I like the puzzles. The problem was the different was there's different gameplay mechanics. It's not just chasings only. Yes, chasings is very good. I love that they add chasings. Margaret probably didn't like that. I disagree. I like the chasings. I feel like we barely got because he's saying, "Oh, we got chasing." No, we didn't. We barely got chasing. Those chasings were like 2 minutes long. We actually got good chasing this time. I like the chasings, but
So the
chapter
Huggy
three.
chase scene at the beginning, it just kind of looked like Huggy was like a fan animated Huggy there. It
I mean, I
sucked. That first chase actually sucked.
I liked the chase scene in the beginning.
Also, when they did that, like you know, the parts in Chapter 4 you squeeze past areas,
Hmm.
bro. The one in Chapter 4 actually looks better than Chapter 5. All the players basically doing putting his jetpack down, floating slowly across there. Where actually in Chapter 4 where it actually shows the player basically putting it down, but also like walking in between those type spaces. Like reimplement the actual walking animation. It looked better than Chapter 5, if you ask me.
Yeah, it's just I think. And Janik said a comment holder. He says, "How did Playtime Co make so many toys? Also, characters also like they literally have characters that we don't even know exist. That's true too. It's like I don't know. I guess I don't even know. I guess they just add characters. That's what the mob
So
entertainment does. But my
they're
thing
willing to
is,
make any villain possible. They're probably going to be willing to bring the whole rejected part of Chapter 2, like the whole room, and make it into a villain for some ungodly reason at this point. They're making just about anything into a villain. They're gonna make Limon into a villain, which, mind you, after the CG5 song came out, they updated the chapter again. And if you click the Limon, you hear a song.
oh
Because
yeah,
now,
really,
yeah, apparently someone actually placed the Limons all across the factory. Lure right, I think it's actually really funny because it's actually a note saying, "Stop putting this lemon everywhere." And for the fact he's Limon and he has a family, they seriously made sentient fruit.
listen, yeah, the Lemon, but I
They
know
made
it
it
sounds
funny.
like it's just I want chapter. See, I don't want mob entertainment to make a game almost close to good as Chapter 3. I don't want them to make a game that's okay, it's good as Chapter 3. I want them to make it better, darker than any chapter. Your goal is to always try to improve better and more every time. Not okay, you did good on this, but then this. Like, okay, no matter what, there's always going to be criticism. Just keep that in mind. But I just feel like, man, it's just things I don't understand. Like, if they use Chum Chompkins for a little bit, I wouldn't even complain. Even though he looks goofy, that's the only thing I'm like, this is a little garden band. But if they use him as a gameplay or he was chasing after us, that's it. And you know what's crazy? Didn't it say in the chapter description that we barely our allies are no more, basically, and then yet we have more allies than in chapter 4, in a sense,
Yeah,
I
even
mean.
we have Chompkins, which is ugly, mind you. I literally going against the prototype. But he's like a double agent, basically. They're just putting basically a double agent.
Yeah, it's like, okay, you don't have many allies, because that's what's scary. I'm like, oh shoot, now we don't really have allies, and then we have more allies. What? But before we get to that, because hold up, because Janix made a few comments. He made comments. Hold on, let me read his comments. It says, "What are their organ or skeleton structures? Like, where's Boxy Boo's neck? How does he move them?" I don't know. That's a good question. And then he also says, "CG's 5 song was fire, though. I gotta listen to the song. I heard it was not. It was pretty good." It says, "What if
It
Playtime
was.
Co had a food mascot and the mascot was Limon?" That
Let me
would.
tell
I
you
mean,
something.
Lamont has better lore. I think he's the main villain, bro. If he's the main villain, I wouldn't complain. If he's the
Let
main
me
villain,
tell you
chapter
this.
six. Go ahead.
Uh, the CG5 song was so good that he leaked it on accident. So there's that. But overall, Chapter 5 sucks. People should get over it. I don't know why people actually love Chapter 5. Stop glazing Bob for being such a terrible company in terms of making games. They've basically proven that they're terrible at it.
I mean, I like chapter 5. I'm going to replay it.
Chapter
Like,
5 is terrible. Chapter 3 is the best. And that's the only chapter I'm willing to play is Chapter 3.
I listen, like I said, I think chapter 5 is my second favorite. I don't think it beats 3 at all. I think it's far from beating 3 at all. I don't think it's any closer. I just think chapter 5 needed different type of gameplay mechanics, not just chasings. It's like they heard chasing, so they put everything chasings. But most of the chasing was huggy wuggy. Lily Love Brace was good. I liked the Lily Love Brace, but I liked the prototype. But the prototype only had one scene. Like we should have him around different gameplays. Him trying to like test us, trying to do. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't that. Chapter 3, yes, it had like a chasing, which I didn't like that they had like a home sweet home chasing, but whatever. Chasing, then you have a weeping angel mechanic gameplay. Then you had something with Catnap, which I wish we had a chasing with Catnap. Don't get me wrong, but the gameplay we had for Catnap was pretty good. No brain rotted though for game Catnap because I don't know why he doesn't just kill a player. But I mean, it's whatever. It's a game anyway, so you have to suspend your belief a little bit. Well, I like chapter 5 overall. I just think, yeah, we need to do better. I'm tired that I want something better. We need darker and scarier. It's not a horror game. I don't even consider it a horror game at this moment. It doesn't feel like a horror game. There was no point where I was scared. Not even Lily Lovebrace. She's not scary. I'll smash her, but she's not scary. You know what I'm saying?
Michael's
But
Lily Love Razor pretending to be a kid when the dialogue was actually just a mistake.
yeah, I don't. All I know
Oh,
is,
it's Lily Love Grace, not Miss Grace. If Lily Love Grace is a kid, from that
yeah,
point you'd be screwed.
yeah, but it's not our kid. It's just Gracie. But all I will say is like, yeah, I liked the chapter 5, but like it was good, but we needed a bit. We needed more, and I'm just tired that nothing hasn't beat chapter 3. Like chapter 3 is still the best. I bet people still
Well,
consider it the best. I mean, not right now because chapter 5's hype. It just chapter 5 came not that long ago, so you're gonna see people be like, "Oh, chapter 5 is best," and eventually be like, "Yeah, chapter 3 was really good." Because after the lore reveals, after we're done with the lore, what happens? Not much lore. Okay, Ollie's a prototype. Now we're like, okay, but this gameplay could be better. Now that's what's gonna happen. Chapter 3 is just too much fun, and chapter 3 wasn't the longest, but it had good enough gameplay at the right pace. They knew when and when not to. I just don't like there's too many puzzles in freaking chapter 5 though. I like the puzzles, but goddamn, we need something between. I shouldn't fight Huggy Wuggy for 90% of the factory. I like it, but where? I need Chum Chomkins involved.
also,
I need Freaky Pianosaurus. I thought Catnap was gonna be there, but I guess that was my fault because I guess yeah he did kill Catnap. So clearly, this guy is just killing everyone for no reason. But go ahead.
also, I'm terrified on this because at this point, after everything, after the main game's done, and if they get back to Project Playtime, I'm afraid that the next phase of it will just be like one big terrible chapter. That's what I'm afraid. Because the first three phases weren't like the first two phases weren't bad. Phase three was adequate, but I'm afraid that phase four there and doing that, going to that, it's gonna be terrible.
I feel like they should have. I feel like they're gonna try to extend the chapter to 10 chapters. I know it was a
Which,
joke, but I think they're actually gonna try to do 10 chapters. I was just joking. I think they need to just if they should have just made prototype die chapter 5 and Poppy be the main villain because now it's the prototype again. I don't want to see the prototype. I don't mind, but like I already saw the man. We could have just done more gameplay, extend chapter 5 longer, more fighting scenes of chapter 5, be done with the prototype, kill him off, and then Poppy be the main villain. But I don't know what's their story. I don't even know what to look forward to in chapter 6 besides Holly Sawyer and I guess more of the prototype. But I don't. I think what really killed it to me is that Ellie is not the prototype. That I don't know. But I mean I like the game, but I don't know. The story is just not. I don't know. And it's not scary enough. Now people gonna be like a grown man talking about kids game, but it wasn't supposed to be. It's like teen wise, and now I look stupid because it's not scary enough.
Heck,
Is more
even
guarded
TJ
Ban Ban.
promised that it was scary because you got to play it weeks in advance just to make a song that gave more hype to everyone, including us, right? For the actual chapter would be terrible.
The ARG, man, the ARG was so dark. I thought they were actually going to go darker with the gameplay. I'm like, okay, now we're on the good. Now
Nope.
prototype, and no, we're not even close.
It
Not even
just goes
dark.
to show that I was wrong. If the ARG isn't dark, then the game will actually be dark. If the ARG is dark, don't trust me, the game will be dark.
I'd rather than make an
There's
ARG
my
look so beautiful and then just for the game to be dark. That's but the thing is, chapter 3 when they were teasing it. As far as the trailers, I never actually saw like the how was the ARGs? Were the ARGs pretty good, dark? Because I just saw the trailer. Like the trailers looked dark, the teaser trailers. So I
and
didn't
actually
get.
really I'm sorry to say this, but because they used the actual map for chapter 5 for the ARG, no. They just proves how lazy they really were.
Yeah, what happened to and why didn't I see PW in a Cat B or something like referencing like he died like because I didn't see Cat B anywhere. Like what?
It was the end of a restricted underscore salvation. Remember?
No, I know, but like I want to at least see a room where he was like dead or at least like something. Like just
Even the previous ARG tapes showed parts of the factory that were part of the actual chapters map, right? But there
mhm.
was nothing that tied it to the actual game version, like no scanners, nothing. It
Yeah,
was a brand new version that they made, like homemade basically, while in the ARG. They were so freaking lazy. They just shaded everything darker on the map and just called it a day. They used the actual map because they were lazy.
yeah. I don't know what I just like I said, I love the chapter. I'm still gonna replay the chapter. Gameplay wise, lore needed to be way better. They were lazy with the lore. All they need to do is just merge it. Stop. Like, come on, man. I shouldn't like we need to start doing better than this, man. So we gotta do better now. I'm tired of the excuses of they can't make it. No, every game developer has done something. If you can't do it, then freak it. I'd rather wait 3 years to get chapter 6. Wait 3 years, bro. I know I'm probably not gonna like it at the time, but if GTA 6 is taking long and when it comes out, it's great. Then it's great. Then it's worth the wait. Right now, we're getting good hype, just not good of the game as much as I think lore wise. It failed lore wise and scary wise. Gameplay, I love it. But even then, we're wasting characters. Why are we wasting Chum Chonkins? He looks goofy. We had nothing to do with him. There was a waste of time. I literally, he would have changed nothing if we didn't have him in the game. Literally, nothing would have been important. He's not important. He's really not important. He's just a character, just to be a character to say we have another character in the game.
Also, there's literally no meaning. Oh my god, there's literally no meaning with the grab bag that we got in chapter 5. Like, I think it would be really cool showing at least BW or at least Jessica using the grab pack to unlock places in the actual tapes because it would actually have a bit more of a meaning. But it's just randomly there for you to collect.
But you know
It
what? They
really
they
is.
messed up with the Omni hand because they said the Omni hand was executive access. Yet you could use the regular red hand for for anything
Heck,
in the laboratory. They made us.
Even the tutorial tape on YouTube, hey, it basically said, hey, you can use it as a battery. You can use one of the charges to make it as a battery, put it in the slot for a minute,
And the
so you can
charges
power whatever
too.
you need to power.
And there's supposed to be 4 charges, and it does way more than 4 charges, bro. Like what?
And then they also showcase charging stations for the Omni hand just for them to not get used.
Mm-hmm. All right, I want to see the debate.
Isn't
Let's see. Hold up. Let me get with Sanders here. Let's see what Sanders had to say. I actually want to add Sanders to the call. Sanders, yo, you there? I want you guys to talk because I want to see what you guys think. Because I know what I think, but I want to see what Sanders and what Sanders disagree with you and something. Let me see. Sanders, I'm gonna ask if he's there right now. Hold up. I'm gonna probably add him to the call. I want to see what he's gonna take. I feel like this will be a good debate, but I want to see
I
because he made some good points, but I want to see what
at
he has
chapter
more to say.
5, if we keep the Omni Man hand, and that's we're gonna keep calling it that because why not? And I kind of feel like one of those receivers that we get for the yellow hand, we have one specially made for the Omni hand to shoot it at. It reach towards the Omni hand at least. But you see what I mean? They could have kept the Omni hand and did that, charging using one of those receivers that was specially
Mm.
made for it. Like
I just want to see because he's eating right now, so I said I to join him. So we'll wait for a little bit for Sanders to join in.
I kind of feel like that if we were to have a conversation for the Omni head, if we were to keep it, at least make it like a carbon copy of the Omni hand creation tool basically that we got to use in chapter 4 when we got
Wait,
the
what
Omni
about
hand.
the bat, man? The only thing we saw about the bat, they teased it, but it wasn't even for us. It was for freaking, I guess, Giblet, but that didn't make no sense. I thought we were gonna at least use that. That would have been cool to use, but I guess.
And again, I think it would have been cool if the receivers made, especially made for the Omni hand. So instead, you would shoot it the Omni hand to the receiver like the Omni hand, right? And it
Hmm.
would give the Omni hand 4 new charges, which would actually be really cool to see, or would have been.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. I just don't know what they're
Because
gonna do with it.
why give us the Omni hand scanners that glow blue, like has a blue tint to it? The ones that oh my god, the scanners were especially made for the ones that has charges. If you use them and you don't need to use charges, like at that point, the Omni hand is just a carbon copy of the original red hand.
Oh, what's my alarm up? Okay, let's change it to a bit because because the conversations with you. Oh, hold on, let me see what Bobby called me for a second. See what he has to say because I said I want to see what Bobby thought about the chapter, and then because he called me earlier, that's why he was supposed to come over today, but he couldn't. 'Cause I think we're having like a snowstorm supposedly. I don't freaking know. Let me see.
Maybe if you come tomorrow.
See what he says. Yo, Bobby, you called earlier.
Yeah, I was gonna join your stream or something.
Yo, so what do you think about chapter 5 overall? Like, what do you think?
I think it was good.
Do you think it's better than chapter 3?
Nah,
Why you say that?
because chapter 3 is just the best.
Like gameplay wise?
Yeah.
Like, give me some like examples. Like, what you liked about chapter 5 first. Let's talk about what you like about chapter 5.
I mean, in a way, you get to play as Huggy,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah.
Got you. But then, so like, why would you choose chapter 3 than chapter 5? Then I agree with you. By the way, I'm just saying. Like, what's the reason? Like, what's
I
the one
just
reason?
like, I just like the catnap boss. I think it's just the most balanced.
Got you. Did you like the prototype design or no? You were like,
It's okay.
it's okay. Yeah, I kind of agree with that too, because I feel like it's not bad, but it's like it could have been more scarier. Like the shrine didn't make sense. So okay, that's good to have your thoughts, man. You want anything to say
Or,
before to the stream?
oh, you're streaming now?
Yeah, I'm still streaming. I was still streaming. Yeah,
What's up, people? How you guys been doing?
good. Says, all right, man. So all right, thank you very much.
All right, peace.
Peace.
Sorry for making that a bit more heated than it was supposed to be. Because when it gets to stuff like that, I'm more of a critic than a fan.
No,
Because again, I'm a becoming game developer, and I'm getting ready to actually transition into that. And I just feel like I have the need to critique every single game for every single one of their flaws.
yeah, like I said, the because we're already talking about like chapter 5. I'm just going by why chapter. I liked the chapter overall. To be fair, I don't hate the chapter. It's just like there were just certain things like I really wish they picked on. It's just I feel like it was still a little bit lackluster, but I think it was better than chapter 4. Not lore wise, I think lore chapter 4 really done way more, but gameplay, yeah, it kind of beat gameplay. But I just want something to top chapter 3. But anyway, before we get to that, because I think Sanders, because I want you to do the disagreeing with Sanders. I think Sanders might disagree with your last stuff. Let's talk about what you like about chapter. What did you like about chapter 5? And then because then we're gonna
How
transition back into the.
how it brought back some of the mechanics that we got in chapter 4, but it was actually finished. Like even the grab, like was way better than it was in chapter 4. That's how you know you can tell that it was finished when you grab a battery like that. Also, I love the different variants of the batteries that you can collect, like the bulkier ones and whatnot. Like we don't just have two types of batteries that we got in chapter 3. We basically got a unit. Like we got more than like you probably even three at this point. Like that's how good I think the battery, at least that was.
Yeah, it was.
I kind of like the uh the part where the prototype first came in, like the first cutscene with it. Oh my god, where the room flooded with red gas, but it didn't affect them because they were inside shelter that the red gas could not reach. Which is people get like asking like, why are we not getting high off this crap and whatnot? When it literally shows that the red gas cannot reach those structures. I mean, like, they can, but they can't go inside the structures. That's why Giblet told the player to hide there and hid where he hid,
Oh, okay.
because he knew that red gas wouldn't get to them. There, they were out of reach.
Yeah, I'm gonna before we get to more what you said. Janik said, "Fun fact: When Chapter 3 was released, I was gonna try to make a remake the entire chapter from scratch." Yeah, but yeah, I think Sage, you said there's someone there's a I think like a little like group of people
Yes,
making the
there is
remake.
a game development
I'm
studio
excited for
that
that.
I think is a transition into a company that is remaking every single public playtime from the ground up.
Well, I can't wait for that. I can't wait for the remake, bro.
The version of the grab pack that we got in chapter, like grab pack 2.0 that we got in chapter 4, they are basically implying that it's not going to look as weird as it did. Kind of like how it actually looked way better in chapter 5. Because you could easily tell that the grab pack 2.0, even in the back, like closer to the back where the tubes are, bro, that thing was low poly as heck. And so we finally get a better variant, which is actually good. Like, I'm not even kidding. They're actually remaking everything from the ground up. They're gonna re-include every single lost, like scrap bit of the maps and everything. It's not like they're appeasing to the fans or anything. They're doing this because they felt the need to include more things to make the chapters longer. And might be hinting towards potential missions, especially in the cafeteria area on the Chapter 1 remake. Like, I didn't even realize he even left. Why did no one tell me that? He's still dreaming. Not streaming. I mean, no, not dreaming. He's still streaming jazz. He's just gone. He left while I was. I'm not going to invite you.
All right, I'm back. Sorry.
Welcome back. Did you know I was still speaking when you left?
Oh. Mm-hmm.
But
Is
yeah,
Santa joining up or
I'm
no?
gonna.
Um,
Let me check. No, I don't think he's. I think he's gonna notify us when he joins them. But with the remakes, as I was trying to say before you left,
mhm.
but they're remaking the games like from the ground up. They're not making like they're re-adding all the scrapped elements of the games, not to the fans, but to make the chapters longer. And they're even hitting the possible mission in those. Oh my God, the backstories. But they're hinting towards possible missions in those areas that were once scrapped. They don't want to keep it stale with the same chapter, just a different aesthetic. They need to add something new, something different to the chapters. That, uh, we were I'm speaking again, and you leave immediately.
No, no, because my parents would call me. I just gotta go quick, and they'd be like, "Oh,
But yeah, as I was trying to say, once again, for the third time in a row, that I don't know if you heard, but with the scrapped places, they are planning on like potentially adding missions to the areas to make the chapter longer, not to appease the fans, but to make it longer. And they don't want to repeat the same chapters with with different aesthetics. They want to add something new to every single one of these chapters, something that was scrapped that was never intended to meet the light of day.
I need a toy store, bro." Hmm.
I think they're actually going to be working on that when it comes time.
I am. Are you almost done with the?
'Cause
What about the first
they
chapter?
are going they are going back to every single one of the plants of the chapters and potentially removing some of them.
Mm.
So they potentially might remove the side quests in chapter 4, but make chapter 4 extensively longer and more free roam than the actual chapter 4 was.
Jazz wants me to add to the call. Why this guy wants to join call, bro? Oh my gosh.
It was
Hmm.
while you were gone that Jazz wanted to be added to the call.
I know.
You guys do
So
not want to invite me, right?
You know nothing about Poppy
I'm
Playtime.
infuriated
We're doing a
No,
debate. Now we're doing a
I
show.
can explain the lore. I can explain the lore.
No. You even
Yes.
try, I'm leaving. You even try, I'm leaving.
Vomit, tell Sage how good I am at explaining lore.
You know what, Jazz gonna answer all the questions. Chat.
No,
Start putting in the
oh
questions,
God.
bro. Chat. Everyone put the questions. Jazz knows everything about Poppy Playtime. He's one of the developers. Trust. So everyone ask the questions. By the way, there's only 2 people watching, so I'm gonna have to probably ask the questions. But if
But
you are somewhere out there,
I believe, I
I'm
believe they're
watching.
actually done with chapter 1. I
mm,
think they're actually done with the chapter 1 remake. They're just making the cinematic trailer and the gameplay trailer.
all right. These some
This,
questions. These are questions. I'm gonna act like there's people, all right? So then if there's actual people, I'll ask answer. All right. Booty Liquor 69 says, Jazz, who's the prototype? Let's see if Jazz can answer this question.
so prototype, like I said before, is shoot. What did I say?
Oh my god.
They changed his name to Charlie Kirk in chapter 7. Isn't
No.
Charlie? Isn't Charlie Kirk like a
Just realized
singer?
something. I've had the,
Sometime.
even Sanders. I've had the longest they were starting to get that I was on here for over 2 hours speaking to you.
You
Jesus.
said wait. You said who's the prototype? Oh,
Yeah,
Dad.
it said it. Yeah, it said it's Charlie.
Charlie Kirk. That was sad.
Yes, isn't he a singer?
Okay, so why is Charlie Kirk the prototype? Go ahead. That
They
finish your
they
statement.
changed the lore in chapter 7. You know, obviously there's like 8 chapters. You know,
Oh, okay.
in total.
So you're saying that
But
they're going to retcon everything that we've built up until now?
He's like saying like they basically just like switched up everything. Like everything they had, they just switched it up. I'm assuming that's what
yeah,
he's like.
because of the problems of copyright issues.
Oh yeah.
There's a bootleg
Copyright
version
issues. They are
called
the sorry, they are the originators of of those copyrights. They are the copyright basically. They own
there's
the
Hold up, we
copyright.
got a question. We got a question. Let's see. John Doe 88 says, "What is the prototype's plan in chapter 6?" What's his plan, Jazz?
in
What's the
chapter
plan?
6. What it takes plans to
Oh God.
So
Oh,
what happens is that he finds a water
wait, hold
bottle.
on, wait, hold on. Before we go there, I'm gonna add Sanders to the call. Alright, go ahead, go ahead.
That is big
Go ahead,
squeaker.
keep talking, keep talking, keep talking.
So what happened is that the prototype is trying to rebuild the water bottle,
Mhm.
following the blueprint. It's the Hydro Flask water bottle 2.0. What he plans to do is to throw it at the player to kill him.
So why does he need a water bottle to kill him if he can just grab him and stab him? Why does he need a water bottle?
Because they also changed his arms to be Play-Doh. Like the Doey the Man. Turns out in the lore, Doey the
Mm.
Man
Doey the
got killed.
man. Doey the man, not Doey the Doman, just Doey the man.
It's copyright
Yeah,
issues, copyright issues, copyright issues. That's why they
yeah,
changed his name.
Do
No Doe, he's just the man. He's Doey Man,
But
not
that's
Doey the Doe Man.
also good for
He's
the
one
yeah,
of them.
problem. Always
Do
IPs with the copyrights to every single
Listen,
piece of
listen.
land.
Chaz knows he is the creator. He's the developer. Yo, you know what we should do? We should do. I would do a live show one day. As like, oh, I'm talking to the developer. It's just, I don't even know if you could do that. I don't know if you could actually get sued for that. I hope not, but that would be kind of funny.
You can. The only one that can do it is the. I'm not even kidding. Nice has been the only one that's been able to oh my god, has been actually been able to talk to the developers on recording before. No one else.
Yeah, I should switch
He's
it.
been
Yeah,
the first.
I should.
He will
Hold on, hold
always
on,
be the
hold
first
on. I'm
one.
gonna make a new live stream. Said talking to the
it.
quote unquote real developer. I'm trying to.
This is quotation marks, so it makes it good.
Yeah, I know. Okay, hold on. Let's change it up. Hold on. I gotta make a
Bro,
thumbnail. I gotta make.
imagine